Hi, my name's Neil Pettican. I work here at Bayer. We're here at BTME and we're talking about life after iprodione. Iprodione is a fungicide product that's been on the marketplace for some 30 years. So it's become a really important product over that time for greenkeepers when they're using it as part of their integrated disease management programs. With iprodione and life after iprodione, that's because recently there was a decision made to withdraw iprodione containing products. So from Bayer, that's Chipco Green and that's Interface. And that's going to come into effect for March the 5th for the last sales, and that's for Bayer and that's for our distributors. So you will not be able to buy any product after that date. But for the greenkeeper, there will be a use up, and that's June the 5th of 2018. So the dates coming up are very important, and they're very, very soon as well. So what's happening with iprodione is the theme of the talk that we're giving here at BTME. How is the future going to look? That's the main question that we have coming. Our industry has been under a lot of pressure recently. We've seen with insecticides going off the market, for example, also with worm control products. So there's a little bit of fear from greenkeepers. Our fungicide is going to go a similar way. We're pleased to say that no, there's plenty of options available, and these talks are just going to go through life after iprodione and how a greenkeeper can use other products within their strategy. So from June the 5th, that's going to be the last use update for Chipco Green, Interface and other iprodione products for the end user. That means from that date, there will be 5 fungicide active family groups available to the greenkeeper. Iprodione was a separate fungicide family, therefore there was 6, and now that will bring down to 5. With less groups, what that means is that there's less chance for rotation of products. Rotation is absolutely important, and the reason is if we use the same fungicide group time and time again, there is an increased risk for resistance to start to develop. If resistance does develop, sadly, that particular group, that fungicide, will no longer work on the disease pathogen that you're trying to control. That means you will then have less options. For example, if you get resistance to one of the 5, you will have 4 remaining. So to make sure that we change the products that we use regularly, make sure we rotate between the groups, is very, very key in our overall integrated disease management approach. So chemistry is not the only option, and we're keen to promote an integrated disease management program. Biological controls, cultural controls, good aeration, good grass species, getting that in, absolutely crucial. So as I've already referred to, there were 6 chemical groups available. With iprodione leaving the market, that will go down to 5. That actually increased last year. Last year we were able to launch a brand new fungicide family. It's called SDHI, and that was launched by Bayer here at BTME last year. It's Exteris Stress Guard is the product's name, and it's a key part moving forward for rotational strategies. So to make sure, again, that we're utilising all of these groups, rotating products to give the disease control we aim to achieve is important for the future. Why is the change in products that we're going to have available important? Well, here is a key reason for that change. What we can see is stage 3 microdocium patch, commonly referred to as fusarium over the years. And you can see that the disease is starting to become quite prolific and quite aggressive. If not controlled at this stage, you will certainly start to get scarring and visible damage to your golf green surfaces and the playability ultimately impacted. Products like iprodione have had a contact curative action. That means that as soon as we are applying the product onto the leaf, it's acting with the grass plant and with the disease pathogen, and then that's giving us control very early on without the product having to move through the plant in a systemic nature, for example, like lots of other products on the market. With the loss of iprodione, this type of contact curative chemistry will no longer be available to greenkeepers. As I said earlier, that doesn't mean that we won't have products to control the disease how we desire, but it means that we will no longer be able to take a wait and see approach, and we need to make sure that we're planning proactively preventative type programs if we're using chemical options to get the product on at an earlier stage of the disease, stage 1 or stage 2, for example. Here is stage one, and stage one is effectively clean greens. That's certainly what we visibly see as the greenkeeper. However, if we're going on at times of year where disease pressure is high, there will still be disease spores present, and going on when we know that we are at a high disease risk and high pressure is the optimum time from a preventative point of view. The goal being that we control the disease while it's in its early phases, and we keep these nice clean greens before the disease has had a chance to reach stage 3, as we discussed earlier, or even more aggressive disease, stage 4, stage 5. While it's going to be a fundamental change for greenkeepers with their disease management programs, the future still has plenty of options. But as we've explained, that's going to need to be a proactive, preventative type approach, making sure that we're using products in rotation, making sure that we're aware of resistance risk and making sure that doesn't occur, and making sure that we're getting on nice and early at high disease pressure windows, so hopefully we can keep clean greens. There's many greenkeepers already doing preventative programs, so for some it's not going to be as big a change as for others. At Bayer, we've already been doing a number of trials around preventative programs versus curative programs, and of course versus untreated. And typically, if we are applying the preventative applications at high disease pressure, looking at all of the symptoms of the disease occurring, preventative generally gives cleaner greens than a curative option anyhow. So it is a change, but we have the tools to give the greenkeepers the success that they desire.